Welcome everybody to the Octave tutorial series. This tutorial focuses on Octave observations. Let's get started. Observations are a key component of the Octave architecture. An observation describes how to sample and store resource data and what should be done when the data meets a specified condition. When defining an observation, you can optionally configure how to manage, manipulate, and filter data that has been observed from a resource, which in turn defines how and when an event is generated. An event is generated by the observation containing the data. When the rules defined by the observation are met, this event can then be routed to different destinations, to another resource on the device, to the cloud, to local storage, or to an edge action. Rules defined by an observation include what you input a resource to screen or observe, optional rules to process the data, optional filtering rules to return the data, and where to route the output data. Routing your data to a cloud stream immediately sends the data to the Octave cloud in the form of events within a stream. Using store and forward allows the data to be stored locally and sent to the cloud on the next device heartbeat. Routing the observation data to an edge action allows execution of JavaScript code on the incoming data and events from the observation. Optionally, you can route your data to another resource on the device. An example is a device LCD. Routing your data to device storage stores the data locally, but it's not sent to the cloud interface and can be used later to be queried in an edge action. When a resource is enabled and used as input into an observation, we initially set the polling period for the resource. This determines how often we collect data from the resource. In addition, we have the ability to further limit when and how often we collect the data with buffering, filtering, and throttling. Buffering and filtering data are two useful techniques to use on numeric data. Buffering allows you to select the number of events that will be stored in your buffer and then apply a function, the average, the minimum, the maximum, or the last value. In this example, 10 values are stored in the buffer, and the value 2 would be sent as the minimum value of the data set. Filtering is another useful technique to limit data going to the cloud. In this example, we'll only send the data if the value is less than 20, greater than 5, and changes by at least a factor of 2 from its previous value. Throttling is a great way to limit the amount of data that we want to send to the cloud. Throttling can be used on numeric and non-numeric data. In this example of throttling, we're assuming we pull our resource every second, but we only want to send the data to our destination once every 60 seconds. Throttling is a great way to accomplish this, and when used together or individually with buffering, filtering, they are very powerful ways to limit cellular data usage. The easiest way to create an observation in the Octave system is to navigate to the resource that you want to monitor. In this case, we'll be selecting the light sensor. Notice that it's enabled and has a sampling period of 5 seconds. We'll place the observation on the numeric value of the light sensor. Click the Add Observation icon. The observation panel pops up. You can see the different resources that you could then select. We'll stick with the light value sensor, give it a meaningful name, in this case light to cloud stream, because we're going to send it to the cloud immediately. We'll also throttle the events. Instead of sending every 5 seconds, we'll send it every 30 seconds. We'll also filter the events. We'll accept values that are less than 1500 and greater than 20. And then give a meaningful description to remind us what this observation is for. Click Save. Navigate to the streams, because when you created this observation directly to the cloud, it automatically creates the stream for you, right to CS. And you can actually see values in that stream. You can navigate to the observation panel and see all the observations that you have. You can look at the details of how the observation is set up. You can also duplicate the observation, edit it, or delete it. Now let's navigate back to the stream so let's see how much more data we've collected. From a tabular standpoint, we've collected a lot more data since we created the observation. And you can also look at it visually and see the trending of the data. And also you can filter the data. So in this case, we are going to select the created date or the generated date and filter on all observations and all events that have happened before a specific calendar date and time. So congratulations, you've created your first observation. And stay tuned for more tutorials with advanced topics on this subject. Appreciate all your time. We'll see you next time.